Hey everybody. So I put together another Elden Ring video. It's just 2 of the boss fights. And this is actually my PS5 auto sync platinum playthrough. So what I basically did was, you see, this is a losing fight against Flaccid Sex, the Dragon Lord. Limp Trombone. Wait, that's not it. No, it's Placidusax. Yeah, that's what it's called. Sure. So you can watch me die here in just a few seconds. But I'm going to show you a version of the fight that actually was successful enough, and didn't totally rely on my mimic. So what I did was, as I've already put on the channel, I did get the platinum on the PS4. And I followed a video by Optinoob. I should probably put it down in the description of this video. If I have a chance to, when I upload it, I will. If not, I'll put it in next week when I'm back at a computer, because I'll be away for a couple days. But anyway, Optinoob put a great video, about 4.5 hour long video, showing you how to take your PS4 save, if it's after you beat the Elden Beast and before you get the endings. If you load that up to your PS5 version, you can get all the endings, all the collectibles, all the trophies that you can get at the end for all your hard work the first time you played through. But then you do have to start New Game Plus, and you have to go through and beat all of the trophied bosses. So you have to beat everybody up to Horalu is most definitely going to be the last boss you fight, unless you get Horalu done and you save like Melania or Limp Trombone here, or some of the other late game kind of optional bosses. I'm going to show you a couple trophies popping of some of the late game bosses that I fought against, and I think Moog, the Moog the Omen, or Mog. It's Mogwin Palace, so it's probably Moog. Anyway, I haven't died yet, have I? I don't think so. Anyway, so in this version, there I go. Now I'm dead. Okay, you see, that was so cheap. Right at the end, he like comes out of nowhere, one-shots me pretty much. So this version was, so it was my PS4 save. It was right at the end, right before you go for any of the endings. And the PS4 version, of course, you can copy your save data. You can sync it up to the cloud. On the PS5, I mean, again, this is still the only PS5 game I've played so far. I've yet to play any other game on my PS5 since I got it back in April, because I've been only playing Elden Ring. And it's, I have played a couple PS4 games like Flame in the Flood. You know me, I can't not play Flame in the Flood every now and again. And I'm waiting until this is done and off of my books, and I'm all done with it, and then I'm going to finally dive into, oh yeah, how about Gravity right there, huh? How about that? And that happened way too many times. That's the number one reason why I hated this fight, and the reason why I had to eventually cheese it on my PS4 version with arrows, was because of that. Because it's so silly that you have to try very delicately to just fall off of that ledge so that you land on that tiny bit of rock without dying. Because all these guys are going to be coming after you, and then there's the ones that shoot the red lightning. Anyway, let's get back to this playthrough. So you load your PS4 version right after the Elden Lord fight, and you can go in and get all of the endings you need to for trophies. Then you can go to the round table, or really any grace, and just move any legendary weapon in and out of your inventory. Move any of the legendary spirit ashes in and out of your inventory. The runes that you need for trophies. I think, what is it? are the incantations and the spells separate? I think no, they're together. So yeah, you all the collectible ones, it's just a matter of moving things in and out of your inventory so that the game realizes that you have everything, and that will get you all the trophies. Such a cool beginning this is. I almost didn't mind doing it over and over and over again the first time I went for it. Again, this is the only reason why I cheesed it in the PS4 version, is because so you can stand here, or you can move up probably about 20 feet closer, and you can just shoot arrows at it. And if you have enough arrows and enough FP, you can drain its whole health if you poison it. If you use like poison arrows or bird arrows, I think. I can't remember exactly what I used, but you can just stand. It takes a good 10 minutes at least, but then eventually it'll die. That's how I did it the first time. But this time you're going to see me actually do the fight, and of course I bring the mimic. The setup for this, and I'm going to show. Well, you can see it right here: 60 vigor, 55 strength, 58, and now I'm at 50 faith, and that was pretty much the only thing I did in this playthrough. I played almost all of Limgrave. I went through Learning of the Lakes. I went through a lot of the early areas and just mowed down everybody I could. I did a bunch of I didn't do a lot of the catacombs, but I did the jails and a couple of the optional bosses, whatever I could get my hands on, just so I could get a couple more runes so that I could get my faith from about 17 up to 50, because the weapon I used a lot more. I used 2 weapons that you get from remembrances. The Blasphemous Blade, which I'm using here, and you'll see its weapon art in a few minutes after I stop burning to death. It has a great kind of ranged attack, and it also has the ability to drain health and give it back to you. It's kind of like a vampire kind of thing. Of course, we always use the Rot Breath. That has really done wonders for us many times. You're also going to see my health bar become non-existent, but somehow I'm going to survive at some point. I don't do very well with getting out of the way, and this is why, The problem is, at this point in the game, I just wanted the platinum. I just wanted to get done, and so you get a little sloppy, and your mimic's going to do so much work for you. I was playing to replay the game and to have fun, but of course I'm playing for the trophies. Of course I'm playing to just get it completed, So you can see the weapon art there. You can see how great it is. And you're going to see this is actually going to get him pretty close. I thought the mimic dies before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mimic's going to die before I can actually finish the job here. But altogether, it took about probably, I want to say, another 10 hours to play through the second time on New Game Plus. And that is strictly by choice. I did take my time with the first half. I did level up a bit. I brought my faith, like I said, from 17 to 50, and then I brought my mind up. I think it was at 20, and I brought it up to, I think, 30. 30, maybe I kept going up to 40 by the end. I don't remember. We'll see some stats a little later, too. Very close to finishing. Oh, I guess the mech does survive this version. There you go. So that's Dragon Lord, Placidusax, Limp, Trombone, whatever you want to call him. He's done. Actually, legitimately won. Well, I mean, not legitimately. I used the mimic. Many people would say that's not legitimate. So we're going to look at a couple other trophies here in just a second. Next up is Malekith and then Mog. You'll see those two pop. While we're watching these, again, I just threw them in there just because they happen to be next in line. I love this PS5 feature with the little videos for the trophies. But the other weapon I wanted to mention was the the Sacred Blade, the Sacred Bone Blade, something like that. Whatever you get after you defeat Radagon and the Elden Lord. One of the things you can buy with the Remembrance there. Both that and the Blasphemous Blade that I made a lot of use out of, they require a lot of faith and really don't do the damage that you need unless you really bring that faith up. And I didn't really see good returns until I got to at least 40 faith on either of them. But the Sacred Blade that you get from Radagon, it makes this great long-ranged kind of holy wave, and you can go to Mogwin Palace and you can mow down all those Albernaics, the really weird-looking, funny-looking dudes, you know, the plump faces, but the ones that can turn into spikes and roll into you. Yeah, those guys, you can mow them all down with just a couple strikes of that large wave, and you can do huge numbers. It's really incredible. So I didn't get either of those in my PS4 playthrough. I just, for some reason, popped the Remembrances just because I wanted more levels right at the end of the game, which doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know why I did that, but I wasn't planning on using that save and going into New Game Plus before I knew that you could do this. So I did spend a good deal of time in my PS4 save going back to the mausoleums and getting those items and doing a little bit of upgrading of weapons and all that stuff, because I knew I wasn't going to have the ball bearings to buy the somber smithing stones that I would need to do the work. So when you go into New Game Plus, you got to remember you're not going to have any ball bearings, any items that you have to find for the story that, you know, move the story along, any remembrances, any maps or keys that get you into certain areas. I know I'm just standing here and I don't remember why, but I knew I was gonna be gabbing away, so I figured I'd leave it in here. Sorry if it's kind of boring to watch here for a second, but I should be moving soon enough. So when you make the crossover in New Game Plus, you have all your weapons and they're all upgraded. You have all your runes, you have all your levels, but you don't have the key items. That's what they're called, key items. So just keep that in mind. So if you want to purchase anything that you can only purchase because you got the ball bearings and gave them to the twin sisters in the round table, or some other thing that you can only get because of the progress that you made throughout the game, make sure that you do that and you purchase it before you cross over to your New Game Plus, because it's going to be lost and you have to put the work in and make that happen. So this is going to be Horaloo. I thought I put in a death here, but I guess not. I'm looking at the amount of time left over, and I don't think there's enough time to die. I don't remember if I got this in my first try in New Game Plus. This sure is a great fight. I don't know why, but I love the second stage, and I love how kind of he gets kind of melee and grabby and it feels more like a Tekken or one of those other kind of fighting games, because he's just bare-chested and he's grabby and he's all over the place and his hair is kind of anime-ish almost. I don't know. I love this fight. It's a cool fight. So, and I probably showed the levels there. Oh, I missed it. I probably was looking at my levels long and hard while I was gabbing away about going back and getting the mausoleum weapons, or the remembrances. But yeah, so by the end I was at, I think, mind 30, and I built up endurance a little bit. Let's see, there you go, I did die. It was a very quick death. The hope was, what I really was looking forward to doing was to using the Rivers of Blood, because I've heard and I've watched so many people really have such a great time using bleed, using the katanas, pumping up their dexterity and just moving fast and having lots of fun with this game. And I never got the chance to really do that. And I think if I would ever play this game again, I would probably attempt that. I mean, the quality build worked so well and it felt so good. And by halfway through the game, you could use half the weapons that you collected as you went along, even though you collected so many. I just want to mention that routine there. Flame grant me strength, and I think, was it called Holy Golden Vow? I think, and also an aspect that I never really thought about doing in my PS4 version. You put Shabriri's Woe on, you call the Mimic in, and then you take it off, and then the boss will only focus on the Mimic. And I know it's a cheese. I know it's not really a pro way to play, but it's my way to play, and I don't care. But I mean, look how he doesn't even care about me. He's just stomping on my Mimic. The great thing about the Mimic is it can take so much more damage, and it's not affected by a lot of things like rot, poison, all that kind of stuff. You're not going to see your Mimic really get affected by that. So here's the second stage, and Hoaraloo gets a little grabby every now and again on me. Some of my range shots miss. I do get jabbed and grabbed, but we do make it in the end. And I put this in, obviously, this is where I got the platinum, so you're going to see the platinum pop after this video. You're going to see the Hoaraloo trophy, and then you're going to see the platinum. We're going to show them all to you. But I had a little fun with this one. See, my mind ran out. I increased the flasks to, I guess for this point it was 3, but I think at one point I had them up at 4 before my mind was large enough. You really do need to bring the mind up past 20. I thought 20 was enough, but I found that I still couldn't summon Tish and some of the other great spirit ashes. I don't know. So there you go. And as I always should have, as I didn't learn to do until the very end, we should always walk away looking at the camera. And for once, I actually make a gesture. Like I'm one of those Elden Ring YouTubers. Yeah. I was pretty happy with the timing of that. Well, there you go. I'm also going to show you both trophies popping. It's going to be a little redundant. You're going to get a little repeat on the audio. But I doubt you'll mind. Here you go.
Tarnished. Thy strength befits a crown.
There's the Hoaraloo trophy. And then the platinum's going to be after that. Hope this is enjoyable. I hope you've had some fun with Elden Ring. And hope, maybe this helps. If not, hope the next one does. Take care.